Welcome back to Precious African Tales. Today we shall continue to the part 2 of the groom that arrived drunk to his own wedding. A few excerpts from part 1. Two beautiful high-class village women named Maya and Uju had met a drunken, wretched, low-lifer called Chibozo, also known as Chibottle, at different times in their lives. Both women fell in love with him. However, Uju had rejected him because of obvious reasons, while Maya had decided to give him an opportunity to prove his love for her, regardless of their differences. "Maya," Uju whispered. "Maya," her voice tinged with apprehension. "Are you sure about this? Marrying a man with a history of alcoholism is a risk you shouldn't take. Think of your future. Think of the children you may have one day. Marrying a nobody without class and societal recognition is bad for you. How would you introduce him to your rich parents and uncles? What job would you say he does? He's a drunkard and a failure. Don't marry him," Uju echoed. But Maya shook her head, her gaze unwavering as she met Chibottle's eyes, her heart speaking louder than any words could convey. "I love him," she said simply, her voice filled with conviction. "I love him for who he is, not for who he was. And I believe in him, in us. Together, we can overcome any obstacle, weather any storm." With a shared glance and a silent nod, Maya's friends stepped back, their fears momentarily quieted by the strength of her resolve. Turning back to Chibottle, Maya felt her heart swell with love as she opened the velvet box to reveal a shimmering, antique ring, a symbol of a promise made and a future yet to unfold. "Maya," Chibottle said, his voice choked with emotion, "will you do me the honor of becoming my wife? Will you stand by my side through thick and thin, for all the days of our lives?" Tears of joy streamed down Maya's cheeks as she nodded, her heart overflowing with love and gratitude. In the presence of her disgruntled friend, in a soft whisper, barely heard over the thumping of her heart, Maya responded, "Yes, Chibozo. Yes, 1,000 times yes." As they embraced under the starlit sky, Maya felt a deep certainty that she had made the correct decision. It was a decision grounded in love, undeniable, unwavering love, that would guide them through the darkest of nights and into the promise of a new beginning with each dawn. Uju was very unimpressed her best friend would get married to a drunkard, a nobody, and she was determined to make sure the wedding would not hold. Uju, being intentional about making sure her best friend would not marry a man with no class, took it upon herself to inform Maya's parents about her intention to marry Chibottle, a man perceived as a drunkard with a lower social status. There was initially a moment of stunned silence. Maya's parents, taken aback by the unexpected news, exchanged concerned glances, their minds racing with apprehension and worry. However, to Maya's relief and surprise, their response was one of unwavering support and unconditional love. With tears of gratitude in her eyes, Maya listened as her parents expressed their trust in her judgment and their belief in the strength of her love for Chibottle. They reassured Uju that societal norms and expectations were secondary to the happiness and well-being of their daughter. In that moment, Maya felt a profound sense of gratitude for the love and the acceptance of her parents, knowing that their unwavering support would be the foundation upon which she and Chibottle would build their future together. Despite Uju leaving Maya's house dissatisfied and disappointed by her parents, She was still determined to do everything possible to ensure the wedding would not hold. As the days drew nearer to Maya and Chibottle's wedding, the air was thick with anticipation and excitement. The village buzzed with preparations, from the decorating of wedding venue to the stitching of intricate bridal garments. But amidst the flurry of activity, a sense of unease lingered in the hearts of Maya's loved ones, a lingering fear that history might repeat itself, and Chibottle might relapse to his drunken habits. Despite Maya's unwavering faith in Chibottle's ability to overcome his past struggles with alcohol, whispers of doubt still danced on the wind, carried by the worried murmurs of her friends and families. The eve of the wedding arrived, and as tradition dictated, Chibottle's friends had organized a bachelor's party in his honor, a night of revelry and celebration to mark the end of his single days. Uju, in her cunning, had colluded with one of Chibottle's friends called Akpan, who shared a similar social standing to Chibottle, to ensure Chibottle's humiliation at his bachelor's eve. They struck a sinister deal. Akpan will receive some compensation from Uju if he ensured that Chibottle consumed copious amounts of palm wine laced with a sleeping substance, and ensured Chibottle became heavily intoxicated and fell asleep throughout the night and into his wedding day. Despite Chibottle's effort to moderate his drinking, Akpan ensured he continuously received palm wine spiked with a sleeping substance. As the festivities progressed, Chibottle found himself succumbing to the potent brew, eventually passing out on a bench in a tapas shop. Uju's malicious intentions were evident as she orchestrated Chibottle's embarrassment, leaving him stranded without aid to return home. This calculated act aimed to disgrace him on his wedding day, painting him as a slave to his vices and undermining his commitment to change before Maya, her family members, and the whole guests. On the morning of the wedding day, Maya woke up with a sense of excitement, but with a little trepidation. She sent a few people to call on her husband-to-be, but they all returned saying they were unable to locate him. She became so worried, but her friends, including Uju, had assured her that all was going to be well. Meanwhile, her groom was lying on the bench in the palm wine tapas shop, fast asleep. Maya waited anxiously in her bridal chamber, her heart aflutter with excitement and nerves. Time seemed to stretch endlessly as she gazed out the window, watching for the first signs of the start of the ceremony that would herald the beginning of her new life with Chibottle. But as the minutes turned into hours and the light of dawn began to paint the horizon with hues of gold and crimson, Maya's heart sank with a sinking realization Chibottle was late. With each passing moment, Maya's anxiety grew. Her mind flooded with worries and doubts. Had something happened to him? Had he changed his mind at the last minute? The questions swirled in her mind like a tempest, threatening to drown her in a sea of uncertainty. And then, just as the sun was high up in the sky, Chibottle stumbled through the door, his eyes bloodshot and his steps unsteady. The scent of alcohol clung to him like a shroud as he swayed in the doorway, his eyes searching for Maya amidst the sea of faces that greeted him. The room fell silent as Maya's eyes met Chibottle's, her heart breaking with the realization of what had transpired. Her friends and family watched in stunned silence as Chibottle struggled to find the words to explain himself, his face flushed with shame and regret. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his voice barely audible above the pounding of his heart. "I got carried away. and before I knew it, I got drunk. I had lost track of time and ended up sleeping at a tapper's tent. Oh, I know I've let you down, Maya, and I can never forgive myself for it. He trailed off. Then he raised his head as if realizing something. However, it did feel like my drink was spiked with some substance, he murmured. Tears welled in Maya's eyes as she listened to Chiboto's words, her heart torn between love and disappointment. She had believed in him, had trusted him with all her heart and soul, and yet there he stood, late to their own wedding because of his old demons. But as she looked into Chiboto's eyes, she saw the raw pain and remorse etched in their depths, and she knew that despite his shortcomings, his love for her was genuine. Taking a deep breath, Maya stepped forward and took Chibozo's hands in hers, her gaze unwavering as she spoke from the depths of her heart. "I love you, Chibozo," she said, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "And I believe in us, in the strength of our love to overcome any obstacle. Let this be a reminder to both of us that our journey together would not always be easy, but as long as we face it together, we can weather any storm. And maybe now we can call you Chibozo. Chiboto is the old you," she ended with a laugh. With those words, Maya forgave Chibozo for his transgression, her heart filled with a renewed sense of hope and determination. And as they stood before their loved ones, hand in hand, they knew that their love was strong enough to withstand even the darkest of nights, and that together they would forge a future filled with love, laughter, and the promise of a lifetime of happiness. As Maya and Chibozo stood before their loved ones, the air heavy with tension and anticipation, Maya's father, Baba Donatus, stepped forward with a solemn expression etched upon his weathered face. "Chibozo," he began, his voice steady yet tinged with disappointment. "You have made a grave mistake, but true love is not measured by perfection, but by the strength of overcoming adversity. I trust that you will learn from this experience and strive to be the husband that Maya deserves." Uju could not believe all she had heard. Despite all the disgrace brought upon her and her family by a lowlifer, she had forgiven him instead of sending him back to the streets where he belonged. Chibozo nodded, his eyes brimming with gratitude for the forgiveness bestowed upon him. With a deep sense of determination burning in his heart, he vowed to make amends for his lapse in judgment and to prove himself worthy of Maya's love. With the blessing of their families, Maya and Chibozo proceeded with their wedding ceremony, their hearts united in a bond forged by love, forgiveness, and unwavering commitment. As they exchanged vows beneath the canopy of the ancient baobab tree, the whispers of doubt and skepticism that had clouded their union melted away, replaced by the radiant warmth of hope and faith in their shared future. In the days and weeks that followed, Maya and Chibozo embarked on a journey of healing and growth, guided by the lessons learned on that fateful day, the day Chibozo arrived late to his own wedding. Despite the lingering doubts of some of Maya's friends and families, who remained skeptical of Chibozo's ability to stay sober, Maya and Chibozo remained resolute in their belief in each other. They knew that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle, and they refused to let the shadows of doubt cast a shadow over their happiness. Over the years, Maya and Chibozo faced their fair share of trials and tribulations, but they weathered each storm together, emerging stronger and more resilient than ever before. They learned to communicate openly and honestly, to lean on each other for support, and to celebrate the small victories along the way. Would you say Chibotle was certain his drink was laced with some substance? Did Akpan confess to have laced Chibotle's wine with some substance? Did Uju back down from pursuing and trying to tarnish the image of Chibotle? Was Maya aware of her friend's antics towards her husband, or she chose to ignore her? Is Uju still in love with Chibotle, considering she met him first but shied away based on differences in societal values and what will people say? These and many more will be revealed in the concluding part of The Drunken Groom, who arrived late to his own wedding. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Your subscription means the world to us. Thank you.